Acts chapter 12, verse 16. Let's continue with Peter. He's at the gate with Mary's house. But Peter continued knocking, and when they had opened the door and saw him, they were astonished. Can you imagine? Jesus just breaks you out of prison, right? You come to yourself. Oh, reality hits. You get to Mary's house, and you're like, this will be a safe place. He's knocking on the door. Someone comes to answer the door and then runs back in. He's like, wait a minute, come on, people, come on. What are you doing leaving me out here, man? They're going to catch me again. Like, what is going on? What do I got to do to get in this place? Right? So, and so when they finally opened the door, they saw him, they were astonished. Like, wow, the thing we were actually praying for happened. He's out of prison now. He's at the door. Amazing. And then verse 17, but he, beckoning unto them with the hand to hold their peace, declared unto them how the Lord had brought him out of the prison. And he said, go show these things unto James and to the brethren. And he departed and went into another place. He's even saying it again. He declared unto them how the Lord had brought him out of prison. You imagine Jesus break you out of prison, you're like, follow me. He's following them out. Amazing. Oh, man. And then verse 18. Now, as soon as it was day, there was no small stir among the soldiers. What was become of Peter? Right, you can imagine it. High security threat. You know, enemy number one, Peter. He breaks out of prison somehow. They're all going to think, whoa. They're afraid for their lives now. The soldiers might get beheaded or something. How could they let this guy go? They were sleeping on both sides of him, and he was chained up every which way. How did he get out? Maybe, it must have been an inside job, right? And then verse 19. And when Herod had sought for him and found him not, he examined the keepers and commanded that they should be put to death. And he went down from Judea to Caesarea and there abode. Right, so he's like, no. Something's not making sense. How could this guy escape prison without a trace? Like, it had to have been an inside job. He wants to put all these guys to death, right? Because he's examining the keepers, the soldiers and the prison guards. He's examining them like, how could you let this happen? All right. And then verse 20. And Herod was highly displeased with them of Tyre and Sidon, but they came with one accord to him. And having made Blastus the king's chamberlain, their friend, desired peace, because their country was nourished by the king's country. Okay, so verse 20, just changing the scene a little bit. He's talking about Herod is displeased with Tyre and Sidon, right? And then verse 21. And upon a set day, Herod, arrayed in royal apparel, sat upon his throne and made an oration unto them. Right, so it's changing the scene. So King Herod, he's upset with these people. Blastus the king's chamberlain, right? So now he's all dressed up in his royal attire, and he's gonna make a speech to these people. And then verse 22. And the people gave a shout, saying, it is the voice of a God, and not of a man. So now they're calling King Herod a god now. He's not a man, he's a god. Look how great this guy is. And then verse 23. And immediately the angel of the Lord smote him, because he gave not God the glory, and he was eaten of worms and gave up the ghost. So who's there again? Jesus, the angel of the Lord, killed him like that. Right? He was eaten of worms and gave up the ghost because he didn't give God the glory. He's accepting the worship of these people, claiming that he was a god. So just like that, Jesus took care of that problem. And then verse 24. But the word of God grew and multiplied. The Word of God. That's the important thing, right? That's the priority. Shall be looking to other men, worshiping other men like they're a god. That's nonsense.